Canadians are fighting to afford the basics. Around half of Canadians are broke right now. They're around $200 every month of not being able to make the minimum payments on all their bills. Half of the country is in that boat. If you look at British Columbia, more than 30% of people are insolvent right now, meaning they're borrowing money to pay more debt. It's really grim out there for a lot of people to afford life. So here's the question. How much will Prime Minister Mark Carney's actions cost? What's the cost? How much will this cost? And it's on a few issues. One, how much will keeping 80% of the oil and gas in the ground cost Canadians? Carney's on record repeatedly saying 80% of oil and gas must remain in the ground. So that's a fact. That's what he thinks. So, how much will that stance cost Canadians? Two, how much will it cost to impose carbon tariffs on imports to Canada? Mark Carney has said he wants to create brand new carbon tax tariffs on stuff that comes into Canada that Canadians need to buy. Why? Because when he looks around the world and he finds a country doesn't have a carbon tax, it upsets him. And it upsets Carney so much that he wants to punish that other country that has no carbon tax with tariffs, meaning the stuff that we all buy here in Canada, it's going to cost more. So the question again, how much will that cost? Three, how much will it cost for Prime Minister Mark Carney to continue to choke Alberta's energy sector? He has stated he is going to keep Ottawa's cap on Alberta's oil and gas. Now, the Parliamentary Budget Officer has said that that energy cap will blow a $20 billion hole. $20 billion. It'll blow that big of a hole into the Canadian economy, and that cap will cost 40,000 jobs. Next, how much will it cost for Prime Minister Mark Carney to say no more pipelines? We're already under the law of Bill C-69, which was created by the Trudeau government, which Mark Carney has now taken over, and he has stated he's keeping the law that causes no more pipelines in Canada. So Carney's on the record, he's against Canadian pipelines. How much will that cost Canadians? We know the cost is not zero. We've all been told that this is Team Canada and about Canadian energy and how we need to, lessen our dependence on the Americans when we're shipping our energy overseas. Okay, so where is our west to east pipeline? And if Carney is against Canadian pipelines, how much will that cost? Lastly, how much will Prime Minister Mark Carney's hidden industrial carbon tax cost? It's not zero. We know it's going to cost something. So they must have the data. They've got to have the numbers. So they need to tell reporters who are trying to get questions into Carney, they need to tell the truth. This Liberal team, this Liberal government. How much will Carney's hidden industrial carbon tax cost? So the pipe workers of Hamilton, that trade union, is so alarmed over Carney's industrial carbon tax that they are endorsing Pierre Poilievre and the Conservatives. I'm going to say that again slowly because this is remarkable. Trade unions are endorsing the Conservatives, voting for them. Why? Because of things like the industrial carbon tax. They say that this is going to cost Canadians millions and maybe billions of dollars. They say this is going to drive industry out of Canada, chase factories to the United States into the arms of President Donald Trump. Why? Because there is no industrial carbon tax in America. So these are all crucial questions, very simple questions, in fact. How much will the promises, actions, and beliefs of Mark Carney cost? How much will his energy cap cost? How much will his plan to keep 80% of oil and gas in the ground cost? How much will his no more pipelines cost? How much will his carbon tax tariffs, brand new things, cost Canadians? And how much will the industrial carbon tax cost?